evercrete brand first appeared on the U.S. market in the 1930s. Its simple concrete preserver was launched by the family business Evercrete New York, which first registered its trademark in 1942. Today, Evercrete Corporation's new products represent leveling-edge concrete preservers, wood preservers, and waterproofers that are manufactured in the U.S. to the highest quality standards. Evercrete, concrete solutions that stand the test of time. Evercrete's product range consists of 3 core products: Deep Penetrating Sealer, or DPS, Top Seal, and Everwood. Evercrete also produces Deep Clean 250 and supplies repair mortar overlay. Recently, Evercrete Corporation has moved into the booming Asian market, working on large infrastructure projects, residential developments, and even the new Disneyland in Hong Kong. Evercrete's #1 product is Deep Penetrating Sealer, otherwise known as DPS. DPS is a unique water-based, non-toxic, permanent penetrating sealant that completely seals and waterproofs both dry and damp concrete and cement-based surfaces. DPS waterproofs, cures, strengthens, hardens, dustproofs, and preserves concrete. Thus, DPS extends the lifetime of concrete structures by protecting them from the elements such as rainwater, salts, chlorides, oil, acids, chemicals, and ultraviolet light. DPS reduces discoloration and mold formation, as well as acting as a primer for concrete surfaces that need paint or any other type of finishes. When used in combination with Evercrete Top Seal, DPS results in long-term durability of concrete. Here is a highways parapet, where the right side has been treated with DPS and Top Seal. Note how it has retained its bright appearance, while the untreated area has become darkened with mold and pollutants. When DPS is sprayed onto hardened concrete, it penetrates the surface down to a depth of 2 to 3 centimeters. There, it becomes an integral part of the concrete by chemically reacting with the calcium hydroxide and sodium or potassium present in the concrete to form silicate hydrates, which have both cementing and waterproofing properties. Thus, DPS lowers the concrete's permeability and capillary porosity, permanently sealing it against the ingress of moisture, yet allowing the concrete to breathe. The Evercrete DPS reaction takes place below the concrete surface and therefore does not affect the concrete's natural characteristics or external appearances. And since DPS permanently waterproofs concrete by deep penetration, future recoating is not required after the application process. It's possible to witness the chemical reaction between DPS and cement in a glass. Note how quickly the cement cures, allowing the glass to be upturned within 10 seconds. Evercrete can also be applied to damp concrete. Here, water is added to the cement to mimic dampness, to which DPS is then added. Again, albeit over a longer period of time, the DPS reaction takes place. Let's compare the performance of DPS-treated concrete with untreated concrete. These 2 concrete basins are filled with a water-based dye and left to stand for 24 hours. Note that no fluid escapes the treated basin, but the untreated concrete has slowly allowed water to permeate through the full thickness of the concrete and stain the paper underneath. There are 3 ways of authenticating whether your product is a genuine Evercrete product. Firstly, all Evercrete products have an authenticating hologram on their label. The labels also have a unique barcode and serial number that can be verified on our website, www.evercrete.com. Finally, The evercrete mixture includes a special coating material called microtagant that is unique to evercrete, much like a fingerprint. This microtagant coating can be detected since evercrete products react to UV light sources by emitting a green color. By sticking clear tape onto recently treated concrete and then removing the tape and placing it under a UV light, some of this microtagant will stick to the tape and become visible to the naked eye. This is also a useful way of verifying if a section of concrete has already been treated. evercrete DPS can be applied to concrete as soon as 48 hours after pouring, but for optimum performance, it's best to wait for 7 days. Like all evercrete products, DPS should never be stored in direct sunlight. As well as the security features already mentioned, all evercrete products come with tamper-proof seals. Always give DPS a very good shake before use, and then carefully pour into a low-pressure garden sprayer or mechanical sprayer. Then make sure your concrete wall is clean and free from dust, formwork oil, grease, and other contaminants which may hinder the DPS from penetrating the surface. Likewise, if there are any cracks with a width over 0.3 millimeters or any malformations in the concrete, now is the time to fill them with a cement-based product such as evercrete Repair Mortar Overlay. Smaller cracks under 0.3 millimeters in width do not need to be filled, as DPS will seal these. Once all repairs are cured, your wall is now ready for the first application of evercrete DPS. Pre-wet your concrete surface first. When the wall is damp dry, slowly spray the wall starting from the bottom. This is very important so that any runoff goes into an area that has already been treated. A properly covered wall will be fully wetted with DPS and show reflections. From time to time, have a look back at the sprayed area and respray any areas of rapid absorption. These will show up as light patches in the concrete. Should you come across any small cracks, then with the nozzle very close to the wall, spray along the crack starting from the bottom before returning to spraying the whole wall. Once you have covered your desired area, allow evercrete DPS 24 hours to dry before its second application. For the second application of DPS, no pre-wetting is required. Use the exact same technique, not forgetting to go back to any areas of rapid absorption. Leave the wall for 7 days before applying paint or any other type of finishing. You can also apply DPS to soffits and beams using a sprayer. Again, you should pre-wet the concrete. It's also a good idea to have a roller handy so that any drips can be rolled back into the surface. This minimizes wastage and will cover any areas of rapid absorption that might appear. Again, wait 24 hours before a second application. Finally, allow 7 days before painting or any other type of finishing. Much the same technique is used when applying evercrete DPS to floors and horizontal surfaces. It's especially important to make sure the floor is well swept clean and free from dust, formwork oil, grease, and other contaminants. Pre-wet the surface. Then, in an orderly manner, spray the floor. The floor should show a mirror-like effect when properly covered. Do not allow pooling, as this is very wasteful, and don't forget to go back to areas of rapid absorption. Again, allow 24 hours before a second application. You may find small areas of whitish excess DPS on the surface of the concrete. This should be scraped off before the second application. Your floor will be ready for paint or other finishes after a further 7 days. evercrete Top Seal is a water-based, non-toxic water repellent that leaves a clear, natural finish. It is suitable for a great many surfaces, including concrete, paving slabs, natural stone, and even wood. Only one coat is required, and once applied, Top Seal increases water runoff, reduces water absorption and suction, as well as the formation of efflorescence. Since Top Seal is non-toxic, it can be sprayed close to plants without damage. Top Seal also reduces algae or mold growth, is UV resistant, and treated surfaces can be washed with water without fear of staining. Any surface treated with Top Seal must be dry and clean. Thereafter, the application technique for Top Seal is similar to DPS. Always shake well before use, and don't forget to go back over areas of rapid absorption. Before applying Top Seal, it's worth testing a small area, as it can lead to a change in appearance of the stone or concrete. evercrete Top Seal works particularly well as a final finish on concrete already treated with evercrete DPS. evercrete Everwood is a water-based, non-toxic treatment for wood that extends the lifetime of most wooden structures by preserving and hardening the wood. Thus, Everwood increases the surface durability of wood and protects against abrasions, fungus, mold, and insect damage. Everwood also acts as a primer, providing better bonding of varnishes, stains, paints, and mastics. It also helps the wood to retain its natural colors for longer. Before applying Everwood, it's worth testing a small area, as it can lead to a slight change in appearance of the wood. Everwood is best applied with a brush to ensure good coverage. Only one coat is required. The brushing technique is important, and one should always follow the natural grain of the wood when carrying out the application. Finally, allow 7 days before painting or any other finishing. evercrete, concrete solutions that stand the test of time. Should you have any further questions about any of the evercrete products, please go to our website, www.evercrete.com, through which you can contact our sales and support staff.